Welcome along to the AtTheRaces.com web preview of the Ryanir Chase at the Cheltenham Festival. Mick Fitzgerald, 2 times the leading rider at the meeting, joins us here in the studio. And a fascinating race, Mick. We've got the winner of a couple of years ago, Q Card, back in this race after, well, he was going to go for the Gold Cup last year before injury intervened. And a couple of really improving youngsters, Balder Success and also Don Cossack coming through to try and wrestle his crown away. Yeah, well, this horse deserves its place now in the Cheltenham Festival. Many people thought, oh, it's a get-out clause almost for the Gold Cup horses, but I think, you know, it's been proved that it's a race that is tough to win, and it's been won by some smart horses. And, you know, I just think that it does give those specialist 2.5 milers a real chance to win a Grade 1 at the biggest meeting there is. Well, the favourite is at 4-1, Don Cossack, who fell last year in the RSA, Mick, but has really picked up his game in Ireland this winter with wins in the John Durkan and the Kinloch Brain. He was up against Champagne Fever this day. Yeah, he was. And, you know, when you see the second last, Champagne Fever flies it and he fluffs it. And you thought then Champagne Fever's got it in the bag. But just watch this horse dig in. I was working for us at Thurles on this day. And, you know, it wasn't done and dusted, but it looked like he was getting the better of the argument on the run to the last. And Brian Cooper was elated afterwards. But Gordon Elliott was on cloud 9 because this is almost his baby, this horse. And he said, afterwards, I got carried away last year and, you know, said that this horse is the best I've ever trained. He said, well, I didn't really get carried away because I think he is the best I've ever trained. And, you know, that's high praise indeed. And he really rates him. And he feels that now is his time to finally climb to the stairs and get his reward. So he feels that this horse is justified to be favourite. Well, Don Cossack there, the 4-1 market leader. So he's up against a horse who did win this race a couple of years ago in Q Card, but he had injury last year, missed the festival. He's gone to the top table pretty much every time he's dined, and he's got some good festival form as well. Yeah, he's the winner of a bumper. He's run well in a Supreme, run well in an Arkle, went second to Sprinter Sacre. This horse has got what it takes. And I think you can forgive him last time. He came back with a cut that almost severed his tendon. It was almost a career ender. And he went straight, had to be stitched after the race. And many people have crabbed him and said he's a tame finisher. I just think this is his trip, this is his race. You can ride him aggressively. You can ride him like every fence you meet, you need to meet it on a nice stride. Darryl Jacob, who rides him, he knows that now. And I think he can afford to ride him that way. And I think he sets a good standard. Is there a danger, though, that his maybe star is on the wane slightly? The handicap has dropped from, what, 172 down to 163. Is maybe not quite where he was a couple of years ago. I think that's probably a fair comment. But, you know, you're judging him on 2 tough races on gruelling ground in races like King George, where, you know, there's no hiding place when you're running races like that. He was still there with every chance. And if you imagine that he did that injury to himself relatively early on in the race, he's done well to finish where he did. And I think I'd be willing to forgive him, and I think hope that being back over his right trip, I think we can see him in a good light. Well, that's the Q Card success story then. What about Balder Success then for Alan King? He was a really promising novice last year. It's taken him a while, Mick, to find his feet this season, but he has recently with wins at both Ascot and at Kempton. Yeah, I was impressed with him at Ascot. I thought, you know, that was an improved performer. The worry is for me, this is a small field bully. He loves small fields. He loves to be able to dominate matters. And you're not going to get that in this race. It's going to be a decent-sized field, and I'm just a little bit concerned about him. His previous runs at the Cheltenham Festival have been dire. They haven't just been ordinary, they've been dire. Fell, unseat, fell. And you can make all the excuses you like. There's no getting away from it. The form is there in the book, and that is a concern for me. There's no doubt that this horse has got the ability to win a Ryanair, but has he got the mental strength to be able to cope at the Cheltenham Festival? His previous form says no, and that's a worry for me. And they'd gone quite hard as well last time at Ascot, and he almost came through and picked up the pieces, if you like. We've got 2 more we can have a look at, and they're both trained by Willie Mullin. Champagne Fever, who Mick it's looking more likely they will go back to 2 miles for the Queen Mother.
Yeah, I think so, and I hope so, because I think the 2 mile race is a race for him. He's a really likeable character, and he just looked like this was a real confidence booster for him over 2.5 at Gowran Park, and he loved every minute of it. So if they did decide to run in this race, you would feel that they're justified in doing so.
And another horse who William Mullins has got a very high opinion of, he was actually in behind Balder Succeeds last time at Ascot, is Ballycasey, who he just doesn't seem to show what he shows Willie at home, and he's got bits and pieces of form that make him look very, very good. Form tying him with Carlingford Lock, and even a beating in his novice days of Don Cossack.
You look at the horses that are in here, you know, you've got horses like Moscow Manon, Maloney. These are all good yardsticks, these horses, and he's beating them senseless. He is a horse that they have plenty of time for in Close Sutton. So I think for that reason, you know, you've got to give him the respect that he deserves. It's
one that if he went and won, you wouldn't be surprised, but it's hard to have the confidence in him to do it on the day.
It's very hard to have the confidence, but look at his price, 25 to 1. So you're getting a bit of value about him. And, you know, there's another one in there for value too. Tack in the Soy, John Joe Neal's horse. Yes, he's been disappointing on the face of it this year, but back at the festival, John Joe's horses are in much better form now. He was a winner at the festival last year. So I think, you know, he's one that you might be looking at this race going, oh, Alberta's Run did it. He'd been very disappointing all season. Back at Cheltenham, place that he really likes, he produced the goods.
And there are plenty of others to mention in there as well, the likes of Edwards and John Spirit and Maffiul as well. But it's Don Cossack, Mick, who tops the market at 4 to 1.
Yeah, and justifiably so. I think Gordon Elliott loves this horse, and I think he might just get his prize.